Here we go. Everything bagged up, baby. We're gonna go change that with that on the cart. Okay. Lighting drain the block. What are we doing? Well, we are repairing a lot of oil leaks. You see a lot of oil coming right here, up pretty high. I'm guessing getting blown back along this valve cover, this lower edge of this valve cover appears to be leaking quite significantly. Again, from what we saw doing our testing before we took it apart, cleaning the surface, applying a generous amount of leak detection spray, and then running the car, getting it warm and seeing what became wet with oil again. So, of course, like I said, we discovered that from the valve cover, among other places. Okay, and that piece is clear. Clip that goes to itself right up here. Let's go get these. Whole new set of problems. And that you can't work up high enough here. some lines. This whole rear timing cover is coming off, so we might as well release this from its sleeve here. Release. Get that 7 mil. Sockets loosened up. So many screw clamps on Ferraris. Not your traditional clamp for a supercar, but it can make it a lot easier to work with. So, right on the other side. One line connected. We need a 90-degree pick for that one. Have to be very careful that we don't send that clip flying. We could bring another radio, I guess, huh? So we can listen to some tunes at the same time as we stream. That'll make it a lot better for you guys. Probably can't hear what I'm saying either. I want you to move the reservoir first. Move shot. Move shot. That's what happens. Free up this hose. Of course, what are we going to use to free up a hose? We're going to use a soft seal installer, removal tool. Very gently can, this is a plastic reservoir, so already going through extreme heat cycles here. This hot engine bay. So you don't want to pry on it with something sharp. And also this hose, ideally, this is a young car. This hose should still be good. Oh my goodness, Micah, you're saying you don't have to replace something? Sorry, don't replace just everything. Okay, now we have enough space for it to come up with this little beauty shield up top that has Allen bolts. because it's the only thing that has Allen bolts on this car. Is the aesthetics, the Italian stuff, because the Getrag is all Torx bolts, and the belly pan are all Torx bolts, and all the Ferrari stuff is still Allen. So you can see when someone who's not Ferrari has worked on it, right? Theoretically, this is supposed to go to this, like hand built, no impacts on the Allens. If they get damaged, you replace them. But you know, you tell me. You look at the work that's coming out of Ferrari dealerships right now, and tell me, is it cleaner? Tariffs again on Italy. What will happen next week in the magic box that is our foreign policy? I mean, if they would just leave the tariffs on, I mean, let me give you an example. The intake manifold gaskets on these Ferraris, a lot of them, like the FFs, the V12s, they're metal gaskets that have a weird coating on them that is very susceptible to leaking. And it's not, you know, shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't need to, it should be metal gaskets that last as long as it's bolted together, you know, for 100,000 miles, but they don't. And guess what? I can get those made here in the US because Ferrari charges, I think through Scuderia, it's like $170 a piece, and there's 4 for each lower intake gasket on the FF, or the GPC booster, or the F12. All this has got to be done together so that it doesn't break. Plastic piece. There we go. See what we stay locked to place. The piece some did not. See, some of them have their lock washers holding them on. 2 of them did not. So I mean, those lock washers are still in place. Got 1 in place. And the other must have fallen. Or was it there? Or did someone at Ferrari take it off and lose it? You know, very possible. It had a oily rag in here, cotton one that was just turning brown. Not too concerned about it. We will be taking that apart further, but do need to make sure that these don't go anywhere and that they get that return treatment. So, see, these are pretty secure in there. We'll leave those attached. We're going to put this over on our rack that has the components from this car. And we're going to go ahead and bag the remaining hardware in with that single washer. And just put intake grill intake cosmetic grill. Okay, now we should be good to grab our blue pliers again and pull this coolant reservoir out. Shoot it to one side of here. steam valve on top of it. Our steam vent tube. You tell me the intake manifold for the oil reservoir has to be removed before there's no way. You have to get the bolts below this with the oil, the intake, the oil reservoir. This is, there we go, there we go. Shoot, I thought so. And no coolant level sensor, you see that? Ferrari does not love you. If you develop a leak in the right place, you may not know until steam is in the engine. I'm going to go ahead and take off. We're going to take all of this. Just make sure we have no leaks or issues. No holes, which looks pretty clean there, but we did buy an engine kit, so what we're going to do is chase this main harness, which goes to here, and boy, is that going to be fun to reroute. Let's see, she's going to take this all loose. Yeah, that harness can come with the engine. Flip it over, you can deal with the harness outside of the car. And this is our steering pump line, which is going down to the front. And this one's also going to the front, so I believe we can just do what we want to with the power. Just swap the power steering reservoir over. It's going to stay back with the gearbox. It's the gearbox controller. This is going to get removed and left here, I believe. Let's do that. Let's remove it and leave it here. Because if we do that, it's run a chance of damaging it on removal. I don't think it matters. I think we no, go ahead and remove it because the power steering's got to come over it. Remove that. that over this line. Go back into here so it stays. This line can get cut. This line can get cut and removed as well. Lock these wheels down when your cart's causing damage. Let's make sure you don't lose that metal clip, just some open orifice. We're just gonna, there we go, make sure you catch that. We go back to our test kit. That was a port that we added in to detect if there were high crankcase pressures that would have caused even a reseal to then fail and leak again shortly afterwards. As you can imagine, if your boost is slipping past the piston rings down to the crankcase and overpowering, which is hard to believe, the 3 scavenging pumps, then you could have a problem that would return. Would not be enough just to replace the gasket, over time. So we wanted to make sure that wasn't an issue. It was not. We're going to be labeling these, putting them away, make sure they're clean, put them where they go. This is the first time I'm removing an engine from a 488. I've removed several gearboxes, done repairs on those, with like the common weep hole leak, which is funny because this one does not have a weep hole leak. So kind of a nervous car for me to work on, because if it starts leaking while I'm working on it, well, it's so common of a problem, I wouldn't be surprised, but it has nothing to do with the work that we're doing. We're not even touching the gear oil on this car. Oil reservoir. See if we can get to going to the other side as well, since we're right here. Let's see. We can. I have to buy another cable just to stand next to this machine. With the silicone. Alright, see that power steering overflow line free and loose. That should be pretty easy. Side, and then let's go ahead and remove this bracket. We're going to move the power steering and the entire bracket assembly. PCB2, we'll go ahead and write that here. On top of this, I'll write that here. This is PCB2. You're hiding from me on the extension, you gotta be careful. Sit there looking around the ground for a tool for 10 to 15 minutes. You're not taking that. Same thing we did with the second. Remove that. Okay, let's see. What is this? Okay. 1, 2, everything looks free from the reservoir. We're going to go ahead and put this harness back out of the way. We have 1, 2, 3 things to remove to get it out of the way. release these little plastic tabs here. Now, this whole thing should be really easily. And of course, not. Of course, it's not easy. Anything, nothing's easy in this car. Why do the exhaust valve controls? Why does that have to be? Why can't there not be a disconnect right here? Easy to remove that. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure paint marker some of these RDC spots. Let's see that. Those and unplug the controllers here. We're going to use right for the other side. Should do right for right, white for left, but we're not. What do you guys think? Are you a mechanic now? See the work is good? Exciting stuff? How are you doing most of the time? Be super careful and slow. Because you're never doing the same car for the same job, a job like this. You're not doing this regularly. I had a guy watching my YouTube channel comment a while ago. How do you have the courage to work on so many different brands? And I thought it was an interesting question. Like, of course, because it catered to my ego, right? Like, I'm so courageous. But no, because it is something that a lot of people don't think about. Like, you think, oh, he's a great mechanic, he can work on anything. When you call me about your Toyota, I don't know what the normal failure points are, how the system operates. how the quickest way to take it apart is. And so when you say, hey, real quick, just do this on my Ford real quick. Just do this on my Toyota real quick. I know you're busy, but you'll fit me in. Dude, if you're my friend, I'll do it. If I hadn't seen you in 2 years, no, dude, I would rather pay you to go somewhere else out of my own pocket because I would lose less money than the hours it's gonna take me to try to figure out. You know, I mean, brake jobs, oil change, something like that is one thing, but when you get into engine bay area, removing components, it's really frustrating. This little hose, the best way to get this hose off of the block, it's right here, so vacuum line, let's see if we can encourage this a little bit. It's gonna need a little bit of a bridge up here. Oh, what's it rocking? Oh, she's rocking. Don't take unnecessary risks. There we go. That comes off, and that is a vacuum. I'm gonna put that like this. There we go. Now we have an easy out for our oil reservoir. Easy out for it, but still very difficult bolts to reach. Still going to be a little tricky bouncing it around this oil cooler lines. I can't remember after I removed the oil cooler lines. I don't necessarily touch it, but I don't think I have enough rough. Yeah, it still have to come this direction. That bracket right there is mighty close to it. But let's find out, okay? Mighty close to it. Anybody know of a good company that makes magnetic hex Allens? It'd be great for this application right here because we gotta loosen these things and try to collect the washers and everything. They're quite far down in there. We're just gonna go ahead and loosen them on and try to collect them once they're loosened. We can get this one pretty easy. Go and grab that one out. Get it right here. The last one way down there. The most likely one to strip out the thread. Okay, excellent. Let's go ahead and get our magnet. Start fishing, baby. Now see, the bolts will come out, but these little washer spacers in there, those are going to come out too. However, they're most likely going to come out while we're trying to pull that oil reservoir out. And bounce down and loosen it. So you have to be very careful to pay attention to that. Let's go ahead and make sure this thing is freed up from the oil lines. And there we go. Come on. Oh yeah, drip that oil in the oil catcher. Your boy's a boss at catching oil. Sneak it out. Yeah, baby. Oh yeah. I'm dripping a lot of oil. So let's just go ahead and grab one of these towels right here and see if we can save ourselves a little bit of mess. Nice. Little screen came up on the bottom there. Cool. O-ring, we're going to replace those. Okay. Pretty good and disconnected right here. Let's go ahead and pull this passenger side water pump out. Again, soft tool. Try to remove this hose that's been kind of melted on there. There we go. More coolant in our coolant bucket. I'm not mad at that. It's not on my table. What do you guys think? Should we replace these with one-time use clamps for the next guy or not? Okay. Drains. Drain into the oil or the coolant catch. Let's see, there's some messes. One of our line plugs came out. That's not good. What is that for? Brake line here to keep those caps nice and clean. Okay, we have that out. We have everything off of the engine that needs to come out for that side. The only thing left is these oil cooler lines. So the only thing left that needs to go over there, and then we can hook up our hoist, do our transmission bell housing lines. Let's go ahead and get that. 2 pins. What the heck? Come on. That one. This out with that there. That's over here because we're not on the white side yet. And we don't need this right now. There's that one. We really need to take this back one loose, which is such a long bolt, but just to get those lines to release and move back. It's so annoying. Ugh. That one's already loose. Put this one up there. lose it. I don't want to lose it. We don't want it back. Maybe I can't. See if I can get the tool in there. I can get it apart, but it doesn't want to go. It wants to hit right here too much. You have to loosen that. Well, see, now if I was doing this all the time, I'd already know that. I'd go right to it, you know. If this is one of my gearbox jobs, right to it. I know exactly what it is. And I'm not knocking my work. I've quoted the job out, but I think it will take me, which is 20 hours less than the dealer quoted. So, we'll see. There we go. And I think it's all 15s over here for these bolts that take this thing apart, the transmission apart. It's going to release all of those except for whatever top one. We'll see one in the top there to prevent it from falling apart. Yeah, 15. to use a different tool for this. Should we just use a 15 with a smaller ratchet. Fit over it. There we go. It's just not enough. No, we're gonna have to use a bow, a crooked wrench. That's the thing. Gotta have the right tools. Tool I never use this tool. It's like once, maybe every 6 months. But when you're working on something new, gotta have everything. We're gonna lift this thing from, huh? What do you think, guys? Where should we lift this engine up from? I don't see any hooks here. Good hook spots. An excellent grounding point up there. All right, guys, I gotta switch over to the other side now and take it apart. So basically just the turbo has to come off and a couple of bolts over here, and then we're ready to lift this thing up off the subframe. I do see some spots where we could put some hooks. I do see a spot here to the front side. We can bolt one on. Then let's see, what do we see right here on this side? There's a couple spots right here we could bolt one on too. Really we need to bolt, ideally 4 would be the best. But all right, well, we're gonna take a break. Eat some dinner.